what's going on with you? Are you still with the Braves organization?
Yeah.
How's that going?
Um, I am still with the Braves organization, blessed enough to honestly have a good year at the right time. This is a scary moment because who knows if this would have happened a year ago where I would even be. I'm still with the Braves. I'm still training. I actually held a game with a bunch of my buddies. About 40 of us got together last week and we played a baseball game against each other, a 9-inning game. So I'm still playing, still working out every day, and just getting ready to do whenever they say it's time to go.
What did you think of all those minor leaguers getting cut? I assume some of those are probably your friends.
Yeah, I for sure lost two best friends that not lost them like I'm still gonna be around, but they just can't play baseball right now. They're not with a team, but it was an adjustment. I would say that we do release guys every year, and then also with team reduction in the minor leagues, I kind of figured this was coming, but I think we're just on Corona's timetable now. I think uh, I would say 3/4 of the cuts were probably going to happen, and then the other ones were just like casualties, I guess. I hate to say that, but it's awful. It's a sad day because dreams are ending. You never know if guys were going to figure out things or adjust and learn things over their off season, and they could have applied it, but they never got that chance. So it's all a part of it, and it is what it is.
What do you think the future of minor league baseball is?
I just think that they're going to actually make it more competitive, which is hard to say. Cutting out a rookie league team. Rumor is next year they cut out 20 rounds. I think it'll give guys who's better a chance to make a splash like me. Like, I think they're going to go for the guys who are gamers now, guys who are proven that they can play at a high level because they don't have time and room for error. There aren't levels to float guys. You have to be exact.
What is the financial situation with you guys? We hear about the big leaguers and their negotiations. What's that like for a minor leaguer?
Well, we get paid $400 a week, and it's taxed, and we are only paid through June as of right now. So as a minor league player, it's month to month, to say the least. You're trying to do everything you can. You stay in shape. I'm looking up jobs right now. I'm trying to get job applications out there. So, like, it's just a part of it. I mean, we're used to it. We're always kind of getting the bottom end of the stick, and we just hope to make it to the show and make up for it all. But, yeah, it's been a grind, and it's tough, but we're figuring it out.
What do you think is going to happen with baseball this year?
I think it's a toss-up. Honestly, like, I want to say we're going to play because people want to play, but I just don't know if both sides are going to be willing to budge because the CBA is next year. They're all trying to show that they have solid footing and solid ground to set up themselves for later. In my opinion, I would be like, all right, we'll do you a favor now, so they'll do me a favor later. But I guess that's not how it works in that world. I'm not in it. I don't have millions of dollars, so I can't say. But what I do know is that there's guys that want to play. There's guys like me who don't care when and where it happens or who's watching. I'm willing to play. I've been playing for nothing already. I'm willing to play for nothing again. If your nothing prorated amount is 1 million, I'll take that. If it's 200K, I'll take that. If it's 10K, I'll take that because I've done it for less. So I would say this: if it does happen, people are gonna be ready to play.
Do you feel comfortable, I guess going out there with COVID-19 going on?
I'll be honest. I just think that the MLB wouldn't allow me to be put in situations that would cost me my life. And yes, I know COVID is not anything to play about, but I think they're going to do everything that they possibly can to make sure that we're okay. And I think that if it's done the right way, it can be possible. We're seeing other leagues open up. Other teams are agreeing. We can get the details on how to make each player safe and make their family safe, then there shouldn't be a reason not. The logistics are hard because nobody wants that cotton swab shoved up their nose like that every day, and that sucks. So I think that's what makes it hard is that there is no game plan because it's never happened before.
Where do you think you'd be if COVID wasn't going on?
Man, I think I would be hopefully hitting 380, hopefully in Mississippi with the All-Star break. around the corner and I would be able to move up to AAA by the end of June, I would think that would be my plan right now. And that was my goal, to have it happen earlier. But I'm just, I just started hitting 380, so they're trying to see if I can prove it.
I guess how has COVID changed your life plans regarding baseball, if at all?
I think I've seen it one or two ways. If we don't play at all, it sets me back a year. I'll be 25 trying to do the same thing I was, obviously. So that puts me back a year and kind of makes me older, which makes everything a little tougher. If we do play, it's an opportunity to make a debut and make my dream come true, because they're going to be playing a lot of games in a short amount of time, and you never know what happens. You're one or two sprained ankles away, and I never wish injury, but those things happen. So I could be making a debut if we do play. So it could be really good or really so we'll see.
Yeah, I guess if some players decide not to play, do you think that opens the door for you?
It does. And then understanding who are the players are, and if I'm willing to break that kind of, not a trust, but kind of that idea, because I can't go against the players union. Hopefully if they don't feel comfortable enough to play, they'll represent me longer than this COVID will hopefully last for us. So I have to be cautious and see who the guys are. If it's one or two guys and everyone else is playing, then I can jump in. But if it's a majority and they're trying to fill it in with like replacements like me, then I can't be a part of that.
Just what's going on across the country right now with the
Yeah.
George Floyd situation, and not just it's plenty of others as well. What do you make of, especially your hometown and Atlanta has been making the national news of kind of what's going on?
I just think, honestly, as a black man in America, I just think that now it's all hitting us in the face. I think when we have access to cameras and film and social media, we're actually seeing it, like seeing it. Um, I don't condone violence, and I don't want anyone to get hurt, but I understand being fed up. Being an African American in this world today, whether people want to admit it or not, is not equal. We can start at the very base of it with our education system. We can start at the very core of it if we go back to our beginning history. I think that it's going to give everyone a chance to look in the mirror and address how they operate. Everyone talks about white privilege and things like that, and I understand it, and I have privilege as a baseball player, and I have to recognize that privilege. And I think that this is a chance for everyone to recognize their privilege in their own lives. And I think that if we can finally be united, come together, and try to make this equal, our world will grow so much. I think that's the part that bothers me, is because like America is already great. Like it's an amazing place to live in. And I enjoy everything about it. But we could be so much further along if we could make it all on an equal playing ground. We could have our minds working together instead of against each other. We're not competing because we hate each other. We're competing to make each other better. So I think that's just with all this going on and all the people speaking up and trying to learn, has been a blessing. I have friends, coaches reach out to me, and my white counterparts asking me what they can do to help ally with black people. And for me, that is more than a start that we need to make. We're having conversation now. And who said, I mean, a year ago, who knows if we would even have this conversation during this interview. So I feel like this is a great opportunity for all of us to sit down and have these real combos. Like when my coaches called me, one coach called me, Coach Lawson, Dylan Lawson, coached me at Mizzou. That's the only coach that's called me so far. And I would say that he asked me, Trey, like, tell me some of the things that you've been through that, like, I would never have to go through. And I'm like, I started naming them off, little things that I have always done. People at 13 have certain talks, and I don't know how many of my, white counterparts have had the police talk. I don't know. That was something that was normal. Didn't even think that it was anything about it, because that's just what I knew. One of my best friends says he rode his bike one night with a book bag on, pitch black dark with his bike, hoodie up, and never even had to think about what a police officer would do. He actually saw a police officer and smiled. I would never do that, honestly. I would never be out on my bike late at night with a book bag on, and definitely not with my hoodie up. My dad always told me, you never walk around with your hood up, never, no matter when. And it's little things like that I never thought about until this past week, that I've been doing these certain type of things my entire life. So hopefully it is an opportunity to grow for everyone, an opportunity to build, an opportunity to be united, because we're obviously seeing, hopefully, I'm praying that everyone can see the injustices that are going on right now. People can walk up to the state building with AK-47s, but this guy can't accidentally cash a bad check. Or even if he did know, it's not, murder is never an answer. So I think we can all grow and learn and educate ourselves and just be better.
Kind of going along with what you said, what can people like me, what can we do to help?
Yes.
I know there's a lot of Mizzou fans specifically, that would like to hear that.
I would say that when you're in your small groups and your counterparts, even mine, like I promise you, I check mine. You can ask my friends any day about any topic. I will just check, like, if it evokes an emotion out of you, you should say something. If someone voices an opinion and you're like, hey, yo, did he really just say that? Then you should then evoke the emotion to correct them. That's why I think we should be educated, because when we correct them, if we come with facts, they can't say anything. But when we come with strictly emotion, then that's when things get all over the place, because we start yelling, we start trying to speak over each other. I'm working on that myself. Anyone who knows me knows that when I'm passionate, I talk loud, right? So I think that when you're in your small groups, because I think it starts at the core of us, right? So let's say me and you are in a small group, we hear something, you correct your friend's like, man, my bad, you know what? And he fights us, and then he goes home and Googles something and realizes that we were right, and he changes his mind a little bit. And then when his kid's coming up and they encounter something and he tells them to stand up for your friend, your counterpart, your minority counterpart, they do it too. So now we've now impacted 3 people's lives. And I think that's where we start. If we can impact one other person to change their mindset a little bit, then we've grown so much more than where we were even last week.
How do you think sports can help? Specifically maybe some of these high profile coaches. We already saw Eli Drinkwitz last night tweet something out about it, and several other high profile coaches as well.
So I was one of the people who tweeted that a lot of these coaches go into these homes and promise these kids that they'll take care of them and look out in their best interest. But yet these coaches at the time had not condoned what was going on and not had said that it was bad. So I think that sports can make it real. Like the connection that my teammates have with me will make it real. Like, man, Trey really has to deal with that. And I never knew. I was playing baseball in the middle of Oxford, Mississippi, and everybody was wondering why I didn't want to go out and do stuff, eat dinner without my parents. Like, I have to know where I am at all times. So those are things that I have to think about that most people don't. So I think that understanding that we're normal people, we've been impacted by things just like everyone else, but then our world is different. I think it's going to open people's eyes a lot, because at first it was a topic we all shied away from. Let's not have the race talk. Let's not have the politics talk. Let's not do any of that. But I think these are talks we need to have to advance. If we have educated talks with it, like not yelling, not fighting, not doing any of that. We have to have these educated talks to grow and learn together.
Yeah. Have you seen it with your teammates? I'm sure you have over the years, like having those talks and maybe some tough ones, but
yeah,
figuring things out.
I would definitely say that I've had some tough talks, and I'm not sure at the moment that my teammates quite understood. But I know for a fact that I brought up some of the points that are going up right now, because these aren't new to us. Rodney King, LA riots were some odd 30, 40 years ago. I'm guessing not exact time, but that we're still dealing with it, Malcolm X talks about police brutality in the 1960s. Yes, we progressed. Yes, we've gotten a lot better because we're integrated schools. We've, all on a level playing field. It's little things like that, but understanding the history makes it more and more important. But I think my coaches and my teammates have only a few have reached out, which have been a tad bit disappointing. I'm going to be honest. I think that if they truly wanted to learn, they would reach out more. I think there's more to do, and I think people are scared to ask. So I just want to open up the door. If anyone knows me and wants to call and ask me what I can do and even if they don't agree with anything, I'll educate them on why I think I'm right. I'll give you facts and everything. So, no, I've been a little bit let down. I've probably only been reached out by 5 or 6 people, and those are the people that I expected to reach out to me, that understood what was going on. So for me to play with probably like, I would say 40 to 50, 60 some odd guys, and then 10 to 20 coaches I've had, for only 5 or 6 to reach out, kind of shows you where we are. I think it shows you that as a black man, you physically see black men dying unarmed and they haven't called to check up on you. That's when you understand where people stand. And now that you know, you keep it moving, honestly. You try to do the best you can to show them the human side, and you keep it moving.
Do you feel like progress is on the way? Do you feel like there's hope for optimism right now?
I really hate to say this, but I think it has to come. I don't think people are going to settle anymore. I think we've done a lot of movements where we've started them and then fell back. But I just think with the way these videos are coming out, how the 9 minutes was so long, 9 minutes on someone's neck, I think that's opening people's eyes to not let up. Think about it. Minneapolis is on its, I think they're going to be on their maybe 4th night tonight. So 4th or 5th night. So like, people aren't letting up. So I really think we have to progress. We have to have these conversations, or you will get lost. Or as we see, if you make these mistakes, you will be held accountable now. So, you can't go around saying words that aren't allowed to be said and not being held accountable. There's cameras everywhere, and you're not going to get away with anything.
Have you gone to any of the protests in Atlanta, or maybe in are you in Powder Springs right now? Is that where you are?
Yeah, I'm back home. And no, I have not. And I'll be completely honest. I don't think the people protesting are somewhat unpredictable. I would say that the people who don't like the protests are the ones that I'm more worried about. Charlottesville, Virginia, we were fighting over a Confederate statue, which I feel like if we can fight over a Confederate statue, we can fight about just about anything. So I really just think that my voice that I could have in a couple years is going to be bigger than what I can contribute right now. And I'm going to do everything I can, like these combos, my social media, going out there, unless something extreme happens. If justice is not served on this issue, I will be out there. There's no question in my mind, because it's bigger than me, the baseball player. Now it's me, the human. But as of right now, I think that there's enough people doing what they need to do. I'm still an advocate. I'm doing what I have to do to make the world known what's going on. But in a couple years, when hopefully I'm at the top of the game at an all-star game, I can look around and be like, it's crazy that an all African-American player from Atlanta can say that with all through that I had to navigate, I've now made it to where I'm at. I've had help along the way from white and black people. I've had help along the way from my parents. My dad, my mom guided me. And I can say all these things and then put it all on a level playing field, and then talk about the issues that impact me. So hopefully it'll be worth it. And that's one of the reasons why baseball is a dream, not just because I love baseball, but because I want to impact my son's life whenever he comes. No rush.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add that maybe I didn't ask that's important for you?
Well, I also appreciate you not being afraid to ask and learn, and you don't necessarily have to agree. I just would like for you to, everyone to listen. I'm not saying that you don't agree. I don't want to put that out there on you, but I just thank you for asking the questions, because that's where it starts. Hopefully today, like when people see this, like they learn something, I would just say that just educate yourself. I think it's easy to look at the violence and the looting and the things like that as a way to make it seem like we're getting off track of our cause. We've tried, as an African-American community, we have tried to, do peaceful ways. I think people are fed up. There's been 493 unarmed black men that have been killed. We've seen it over and over again. We hear about this one instance with a guy on his neck and Ahmaud Berry being cornered, but I don't know if people have heard about the young woman who passed away, and I hate that I don't know her name off the top. The young woman who passed away because the police officers were shooting guns inside the house because they thought, they were at the wrong house and they were serving a warrant. And this lady was shot 8 times at the hand of the police. Not saying it was because she was black, because they didn't see her skin tone, but because that it's an option that police can shoot inside of a building and not be held responsible for it. I think that's where our problem, that it takes closer to 9-10 months to become an officer, but it takes 7 years to be a lawyer. So someone who executes the law with their words, it takes you 7 years, but someone who executes the law with a gun and a badge, it takes 9 months. So I think that we have to look and see, are we really doing, is it really, really equal? Is it? I know my high school, which is in the suburbs, but it's in the, we're seen as the black high school. Our college readiness is 3 out of 10. But the school that's legit 5 minutes, I would say probably 7 miles away, is seen as 9 out of 10 for college readiness. There's a disconnect there. Just, going into college, those guys that weren't ready, they struggled, and who knows if they got sent back home. My high school was just okay with people graduating. Their high school is okay with, want people to go to college. So there's a difference there, and I think that's where we have to look in the mirror. Like, call your black. Also, if you look around your circle of friends and you look left and right and you don't have a single black person to call and ask them these real questions, I'm sorry, you might be somewhat a part of the problem. You have to challenge yourself every day. I have white counterparts that challenge me every day on the way that I think about things. You get challenged in every aspect of your life, and we have to be challenged on this race and equality issue.